Pauk, if you have a problems, please refresh. Usually it helps. Uh, okay. Okay. So yeah, it work. Okay, good. Thank you. So can you please write in chat where you're from, the country where you're from, and the city where you're from, just for us to learn where you came from and just to understand the the overall structure of the people from our webinar. So can you write down, please, where you came from, guys? Okay. Okay. So Monterrey, Mexico, Cali, Bloomington, Illinois, USA, Cali, nice, nice. Hawk still replying that it's number one. Well, okay, there is some lags definitely during the webinar, but okay. It due to the internet. Sorry, guys, we couldn't do anything with that. Also, I see in Malvern from Arkansas, USA. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, El Salvador, India. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you for giving the feedback. We do really appreciate it. Let's begin. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, South Africa, Braden. Thank you, Braden. Tamil, India. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for being active. It's really important because we will discuss a lot of interesting stuff today, definitely. And just for everybody here in the webinar room, we're also streaming it to all the platform, like the Facebook, like the Twitter, Twitch, sorry, and all others, YouTube as well. So. I would like to ask you, what was the main reason, especially for those of you who just not connected to the stream, because you probably do not know that it will happen. But for those of you who registered and just came to us, so yeah, can you please reply the why you're here? Yeah. So let's start the polling. So what is the main reason behind it? So would you like to become a pro player? Would you like to become a streamer? Would you like just to improve the skills, so be a part of esports in general because you're really thrilled with it? So I see that some of you already would like to become a pro player. Pretty good. Some of you would like just to improve the skills. Also, some of you would like to become a streamer. Pretty well, guys. Pretty well. So yeah, thank you very much for the feedback. Do really appreciate it. And also the people from the different platform, you can also write down the chat. Would like to become a pro streamer, player, and streamer. Hugo, yeah, it's very very good. Thank you very much, guys. Do really appreciate it. So definitely, yeah, it's become a pro player brand, and also thank you, guys. I just would like to learn to become a better. Yes, map placement, aiming. Well, Carlos, it's a bit more in details. We will cover it pretty briefly today. But I will also tell you where you can came to other webinars. We will give a bit more info on some particular parts. So thank you very much for the feedback. Yeah, same, Joshua. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks, guys. So regarding the timings, it will be around 2 hours plus minus, depending on the amount of the questions. So it will be pretty much amount of the information which we will give to you also. Well, we will talk about our course, what we do right now, what are the successes for our students. We will talk about the pro players' career and how to proceed there. We will talk about the esports. So we'll talk about a lot of different things. So it will be pretty long. So be prepared. Definitely, we will also record it, and you will get the possibility to watch it later on as well, because it will be something which could be pretty valuable for you. So a majority of questions and answers we will try to reply in the end of the webinar, not to waste too much time on the beginning. But if we will see something interesting during the webinar, we can also reply you just live at the same moment of time. So let's proceed. And just the final things which I would like to cover: be proactive, because this brings you the best results. It's always so in life. So try to use everything which is possible, and it will allow you to proceed much faster and much more forward. So about the program, we will talk first of all about the esports possibilities. So what's currently happening with the esports market, how it's growing, etc. We will introduce you our expert, and he will talk about his career and how he became a pro expert, pro player. By the way, what is the definition of the pro player for me personally is that the person is being paid for what he does. So it's not only about the skills, which is crucial, definitely, but he is being paid for what he does. So this is the main definition for me for the pro player. So if you're not being paid, unfortunately, guys, you couldn't be named as a pro player. And actually, the third thing which we will discuss is the main mistakes every beginner does in the Apex Legends, and we will just talk about it a bit more. 7 key steps which you need to become a pro player. We'll also discuss about the Season 2 changes of the meta and how can you use it, and actually what's the main idea behind some additional things which are happening right now, and how you can proceed faster in this. We'll also discuss about our course, give you some special deal today. So let's begin. So first of all, why now? Why currently is the probably best time to enter the esports market? So first of all, that just during the last 4 or 5 years, the market has grown so much, and actually it's growing further and further more. So this is the figures. Pro gamer average income have grown almost 5 times. So up to $10,000 currently, the pro players, it's the average medium pro players can earn monthly. The same thing about the Twitch. The amount of the streamers and amount of the watchers, actually viewers, increased like almost 10 times. Twitch streamers amount also increased, but just for 3, 4, 5s. And also really interesting thing that the Twitch streamer average monthly income has also grown just like 5 to 10 times at least. So that's why we think right now is just the perfect timing. And if we talk about the top players, the top guys who are actually already in the top of the ladder, yeah, so their earning is just incredibly high. So it's even more than the professional football player, professional NBA player, and on all other sports. So actually, right now the salaries of the pro players, of the top pro players, are just here. You know, it's very, very on top. So this is the figures. You see that pro players can earn up to $100,000 monthly. Top Twitch streamers, and actually not only Twitch right now, like you heard probably that Ninja has moved to another platform right now, so he's not anymore in Twitch, and his monthly earning was was about $500,000 monthly, so it's pretty much. An average prize pool has also increased a lot. So let's proceed. So in total, in general, just during the 5 years, the income of the pro players has increased by 5 times. So this is incredible. This is the very good timing to do this career, to proceed here and try your best in performing in this in the esports. So just some more info, and we will move to the more interesting content, just to give you a bit more details. That the market is really huge, and actually the average growth of the market is more than 25% year on year, and actually it's even speeding up. The more interesting thing that a lot of big brands are actually entering this market, and I'm talking about not only like Red Bull, who is really well familiar with the sponsoring some crazy contests, but also really big brands like Mercedes, like Audi, and also a lot of different brands are entering this market and becoming actually the advertising a lot in this. So it's also a question of when it's considered too late to start the pro career. We will talk about it. We will talk about it definitely. So, but I will reply you right now. There is no limit for the beginning of the career of the esports. So this is one of the greatest advantages, because it's not like a real sports when you cannot start when you're already like 25. It's too late, definitely. So in regular sports, earlier you start, more possibilities you will have. In the esports, there is no limits, absolutely. So there is guys, pro players who are 45, 50 years old already right now, and they're earning a lot. And we will talk about also some disabled persons who could also earn a lot of money, also being the pro players in the esports. So there is no actual limitation in the amount of the age. There is probably the minimum age which you should be to start the pro career, it's 13 years old. So for the Fortnite, for example, it could be 13 years old, and you can actually enter the pro career. You can participate in the tournaments, etc. If we talk about like more amateur games like the Apex Legends, you should be at least 16 years old to come here. So that's mainly the main limitation is just the age. So this is just few more graphics I would like to show you that the Twitch growing is incredibly fast. Like just watch how many minutes per month people are watching. It's just crazy. It's even more than people watching an NBA. Damn, I guess 27, it's not that bad time to start. Absolutely, Carlos, absolutely. 27 is very good timing for the beginning. Absolutely. So you're more amateur, you have, and moreover, we will talk about it a bit more as well. So you actually can do it in parallel with your current job. So you can try it, test it out, learn that you can proceed here and move on. So it's also a very good possibility. We will talk about some of our students who are actually done this. And I will show you some interesting videos regarding this as well. So also some more graphs about the esports trends. As you see, the left ones, I am absolutely sure you cannot see all the graphs very well, so I will try to describe you. I will just write a bit on top of it. So this is the, why it's not working? Sorry, guys, just probably should choose. Yeah, this is the one, actually the early esports earnings. You see how fast it's growing. It's amount of the esports players, also amount of the tournaments. You see that the trend is really clear. We're moving forward. So at least 4.5 times the prize pool have grown up during the 5 years. And also, that's mainly it about the esports market. So you see that it's growing very fast. We're moving in the era of the esports, and it's becoming like the same level of entertainment as the television, as the cinemas, as the regular sports. So it's a very good niche to practice and to work in. So we're the No Limit Pro Gaming Academy. We're a European-based company, and our main aim and goal actually to create and help people to achieve the highest level in the esports and go in there like with the full passion and get as much as possible from it. So just some of our social medias over here. So okay, I will not bother you too much with this. So let me introduce you our main expert of the academy, and actually he's the main expert of Apex Legends. It's Marcel Lehmann, also known as Wineless. He just recently, like a bit less than 1 month ago, won the Twitch Rivals tournament with the biggest amount of the kills during this kill race. So, Marcel, I would like to introduce you just to appear in front of the people. So, Marcel, hello.
Yes, I'm Vainless. Like Sergey said, I played Apex right now, and I started my pro career all the way back in 2014. So it's been pretty long time coming. Obviously, back then, it wasn't as successful and stuff like that. It was with a smaller game and unknown game called Infinite Crisis, and also a little probably very interesting thing about where I came from. Basically, I started in MOBAs, which is obviously not an FPS, and it started with me basically having fun with friends in League of Legends, and slowly climbing the ladder when I realized I wanted to improve a bit more and focus on the competitive side a little bit more. And then in a matter of about 2 seasons, I went from stuck in bronze to diamond, and at that point my competition basically started. And yeah, it went all the way through the different MOBAs. Then when I took a little bit of a break from MOBAs or from competing in general, Overwatch was announced, and it was really interesting to me with the hero aspect. It was kind of like the perfect bridge between a MOBA and an FPS, and so I switched over. and I'm currently, like I said, playing Apex.
Perfect. Marcel, this is the actually always we're asking this question because it's pretty unusual that the person actually started from MOBAs and moved to the FPS. Was it hard to transition? I mean, you learned the MOBAs and then moved to the FPS. Was it hard to do, or what was the main obstacles, and what skills actually was necessary to do that properly?
Yeah, so the obvious difference is, in an FPS, you need more precise aim. Like in a MOBA, you still need to kind of aim, your skill shots and all that stuff, but it's more about like predicting than anything else, really. So obviously, I had to spend, a lot of time practicing my aim and making sure I catch up to the FPS veterans. And apart from that, a lot of skills, actually carry over, like team communication, like a lot of game sense, some strategies carry over. And then obviously, like I said, I played Overwatch, which is, kind of like a first-person MOBA, if that makes sense, because, you have the ultimates and all that stuff. So it's very comparable to have that team synergy and stuff like that.
Okay. So you think that having these kind of skills, it allows you to move to any actually parts of esports career. So you just if you start in one like MOBAs, you can move to the FPS, then move to the others. So this is not a big deal, or it was pretty tough.
Some people definitely have bigger difficulties than others. It's kind of up to the person. Obviously, if you just think about it, I played, I don't know, let me count. Like, I played 3 different MOBAs, and then now I'm on my 4th FPS title. So in general, I'm playing a lot of, different titles competitively, and obviously that, kind of shows that I'm very adaptive. And some people probably have much more difficulty with this. So it's kind of up to
that's actually this skill, the possibility to adapt fast. This is incredibly important in all career possibilities. I mean, the world changes so fast. This skill should be definitely trained, guys. So you should remember that. So to have a possibility to change your way and do it pretty fast, this is really important. And in esports, it is also really important because the new new games will come up and new possibilities will rise in front of you. So you should definitely be ready to change everything and just do it pretty fast. So that's what I think. So do you agree with that, Marcel?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, when new titles come out, you want to be playing them early on so you get a head start of other people. If you think, it's going to be successful. And then even if you're a streamer, you obviously want to get that viewership when the hype is around the new games.
So Marcel is a pretty shy person. So let me also give some more background to the Marcel. He wasn't actually in FaZe Clan, in Team Dignitas, and also in Team Acer. And right now he's the... so let me introduce your team. So let's show like one very nice video. I really like to show it. So just of your team play, which is, I think we need to update the new one because it's from previous season. Definitely, but it's also pretty fun. So this is the Triumph, where Marcel is actually currently playing for. And I love these kills, but definitely we need to find the last one, because I love your last streams, your last games. It was incredible. And actually, there is some nice questions. I like it. Are there any personality traits that usually stand out that would influence to make you a great player? This is a very good question. So what do you think, Marcel?
I mean, especially in a team game, you kind of just have to, figure out the balance between your team. So whatever one person is good at, for example, for myself, I communicate a lot in game, and then if we have a teammate that doesn't communicate as much, that's completely fine, because you can kind of make up for it a little bit. But in general, the one thing that you don't want is like people, tunnel visioning and also raging. Obviously, you don't want people getting mad. That's a really bad thing. But apart from that, what stands out, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Okay, thank you. I think Carolis, I think this is pretty good answer. Do you satisfied with it? If not, just write down some additional things and ask questions. So there is also a lot of myth and stereotypes among the people. So one was actually about the age. Another one is about the esports, that it's like it's not really perceived like something serious. It's like kind of nerds and doubtful social status, which is currently absolutely not so. So let me just show you one nice video. But where is that? Yeah, this is it. Just to show you what's currently happening in the stadiums of the pro players, and this is actually regarding the Dota 2, but the same.
Champions, Evo Geniuses.
So here, actually, what I wanted to show you guys, that the amount of people watching it, yeah, absolutely insane, true. It's 50,000 people watching it in the stadium, and actually thousands of people watching them live during this tournament as well in the internet. So it's like the new rock stars of our century. So this is not the doubtful status. It's really, really on top right now, and actually it's kind of hype, and it's additional benefit. Additional thing. Damn, I do that for free. Yeah, that's true. Just to move on the scene, yeah, and just to say hi to everybody. It's just kind of hype. True. I do agree with that. And just one more thing showing the same. This is the pro gamers. This is the Virtus Pro players came to one city during the tournaments, and just the fans came to them. It's 6 a.m. in the morning in the airport, and just look how many people came just to greet them. It's incredible. I mean, I would not do this for I would not do this even for J Lo, just to greet her, because I will definitely sleep better instead of doing that. But look, they woke up like 4 a.m. to go to the airport and to greet the guys. It's incredible. I mean, it's really kind of new rock stars of this century. It's really so. Another myth, which is pretty common, is actually that you should have the pro equipment to become a pro player, which is also absolutely not so. There is a lot of pro players playing on the average PCs, not on the top. It's just really rarely happening to have a very top level of PC. Actually, the majority of very good PCs is actually used only for streaming, but majority of the pro players using pretty average PC. And this is just to show you up that there is like one good pro player in the Fortnite who is actually number 31 worldwide, and he is playing using the laptop, which is definitely not the best, like 5 years old laptop, and still he's in number 31. So, and one more thing, this is actually what we was talking about. First of all, about the earnings, and about the amount of the games, and actually about the age. I will talk about as you see, the guy on the right part, the Amehara Diaga, he's actually 50 years old right now, and he's the professional player, and he's earning around 224K. And this is just, well, definitely you all know the Tyler Ninja Bladens, who is number one, and actually he's moved to the platform from the he's actually moved to the Mixer from the Twitcher. Yeah. So and right now he's not anymore the Twitch player. So you see how much you can earn in it, and actually that's the really good possibilities. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Shot, for the feedback. So let's talk a bit about the Apex Legends Season 2, because we're moving to the Apex Legends. And actually, just before we begin talking with the Marcel about the Season 2, I would like to tell you why we think the Apex actually one of the best possibilities to start your esports career. So first of all, it's pretty new discipline, and not that many pro players have been playing too long with this game. I mean, it's just from November. Yeah, it's not that old title, so it's pretty new. So not that many hours played, but definitely, well, the top players have played a lot. But comparing to the other games, it's much like younger, and gives much more possibilities in moving in the pro scene and pro career. So, Marcel, let's talk about the Apex Legends Season 2 and about the weapon changes. So not only about L-Star, which is, well, definitely, I love this gun. It's incredibly cool, especially in the short distances. So what do you think about the Season 2 in terms of the weapon changes?
Yeah, so obviously, first of all, the new L-Star, like you said, in close range, it's good. But the biggest weakness of it is, the muzzle flash and the bullet drop. So it's pretty unusable in anything that's not close range. So definitely keep that in mind if you do pick it up. Apart from that, the other main changes that we've seen is the disruptor and the hammer points. The alternator is really good now. It was already pretty decent before as an early game weapon, and now it's
especially
definitely viable.
Disruptor bullets.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The longbow is also, it was already before really good, but pretty much the same still. And yeah, the energy weapons, they got a pretty decent buff, in terms of having a magazine now and the ammo stacking higher. So they are definitely better now. And one little nerf to shotguns, but mostly the EVA is the stacks from, shotgun ammo from 64 to 16 now. So the EVA is not really that viable anymore because you can't carry enough ammo for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's too fast. I mean, it shortens too fast. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
P20 with the hop up. Yeah, definitely. P20 is crazy now, especially if you take the golden one. It's just incredibly cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem with the P20 is that if people are standing in a Wattson ult, the shield keeps regenerating. So the P20 doesn't actually get the hammer point thingy.
So not effective in this case. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you have to keep in mind.
So yeah, if you see people covering in the under the shields, so definitely do not use P2020 in this case. You just waste the time. So, is there anything else about the weapons in this season? So, what would you recommend? Like a lot of people asking, what is the best combo? Like the best one for the old, like middle game. I mean, middle end games, not for the beginnings.
Yeah, I mean, it always depends like what you're playing, obviously. So, for example, for scrims and like high level competition, the longbow is definitely the best weapon in the game. And then apart from that, you usually want to have like a close range weapon like the R99 or the alternator with the disruptor, for example, or maybe a carbine. The wingman is obviously always good. all those weapons that were already viable in the first
Mhm.
season, basically.
Good. So let's move on to the others. So definitely the new legend Watson. I personally love it. I personally love this. Well, what do you think about the Watson? Has what changes in the meta?
Yeah, so Watson is definitely very important now to have pretty much in any team comp, just because her ultimate denies grenades, and grenades are really really strong and by a lot of people very underused. But yeah, in high level games, in ranked Apex Predator and stuff like that, she is really really strong, and then her fences also help defending areas, buildings, stuff like that. So definitely recommend using her. And then just to reply to the message, favorite combo is the Spitfire of the 301. So first of all, like the Spitfire, the reason it's good is because it has a huge magazine. However, against better players, the huge magazine is actually not really good, because the damage output the Spitfire has is very low compared to like an R99. And if you go into like higher level games, it's gonna be like people peeking you, shooting very quickly, and then hiding again. So basically, your magazine doesn't really do anything, and that's why like the Spitfire is not really recommended. So try to keep that in mind a little bit. So
Actually, a lot of people prefer Spitfire, but yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I mean it's good to like kill a full team if you just spray, but that's because you're probably not already like you're not gonna go in a higher level game with those. Pretty much, it's not a weapon you want to be using all the time. So
Mhm.
try to, if you can, try to get away from it and use the
Mhm.
weapons with a higher skill cap, and then you will see probably better improvements. And then yeah, like Carolus said, the 301 R99 combo, it's decent. The carbine, it's decent. It's not really a recommended weapon, but it's definitely usable.
Yeah.
Because the R99 is just better, but it's only close range, and then yeah, it's kind of weird.
Mhm. So, and what about the current meta among the characters? So, what are the
characters.
best pick for the team? Like the
Yeah,
best
so the
picks?
three best characters are right now Pathfinder, Watson, and Wraith. And then depending on if you play scrims, for example, Lifeline is still really really good because people play very passive. So her ultimate is really good, getting more armor and stuff like that. Whereas before, Bangalore was really good, but she's less and less being played just because the smokes are countered by whichever team has the most digital threats. So if your team doesn't find, yeah, if you don't find any digital threats in the game, but the enemy has two of them, well, then you're basically like shooting yourself in the foot if you use smokes, because you can't see anymore, but they can see you. So that's definitely not as good anymore. And then yeah, the caustic buff is actually pretty nice, and Jib buff helps a bit, but he's still not really worth picking. Caustic is definitely more viable though.
Yeah. Okay, and about the environment changes on the map. So, what do you think in the meta changes? How it influences the game, and especially high ranked games?
Yeah, so just first of all, obviously as like a visual thing, I think the new areas, I think everyone can agree they look much more interesting, than before. They're not as boring, but yeah, that's not really important. But apart from that, the cage area, it definitely changed a lot the meta in that area, because before the building towards Hydrodome was like the ultimate high ground, and if you were holding it, no one could really push you. But now it's completely changed with the cage looking over it. However, if you do hold the cage, be careful of zip lines, because the cage is so big that if an enemy zip lines onto you, you don't hear it. So that's definitely a thing you have to watch out for. And yeah, that's pretty much the biggest change. Apart from that, the feet of the Leviathans, if you shoot them, they actually lift their feet and you can take the loot if needed. Obviously, if you shoot, people will know you are there and they might push and stuff like that. So gotta be careful. But yeah, that's a little thing to know. And yeah, overall, pretty nice changes.
Thank you very much for this. And So let's talk about the I will move on actually to the next one. Yes. So what was your most annoying mistakes in the Apex Legends, guys? So give us some feedback of the mistakes you really hate facing, well, by yourself or by your team. So what are the main annoying mistakes in the game? In the Apex Legend currently you haven't encountered, or you see it's too many times and you really hate it. So what is that? Just give us some feedback of your games and what do you feel about it? Pushing the team when I shouldn't have. Yeah, actually, the pushing, I think it's one of the most common mistakes.
Yeah, this comes up pretty much every week. So in regards to that, what you want to be, this doesn't just help with like pushing, but overall, what you want to try to work on, it's kind of summed up by game sense. But if you don't, like, game sense comes after like a lot of experience where you played, every possible scenario in the game, and you automatically like realize what to do. But before you do all of that automatically, basically what you want to be doing is try to always be aware of where all the different enemies are of the enemy team. So if you see one enemy, don't just rush in and because he's in the open and push him, because his teammates might be to your right, and then they see you crossing the open area, and well, all of a sudden you have 3 people shooting you, and even if you get the enemy guy who was in the open to 50 HP, you're gonna get downed and you're probably gonna die, and obviously that's not worth it. And apart from knowing where all the 3 enemies are, apart from that, also kind of keep like a mental clock in time. So obviously the longer the fight goes, the higher the chance of getting third partied, and the higher the chance of, I don't know, the zone pushing you and stuff like that. So a lot of things will kind of play into that. Forget to reload sometimes. Okay, I mean, if you know that, just obviously try to check them off for it. I can't really give like a good advice for that.
The next
hot.
one is landing hot. Yeah.
Landing hot, not rotating when in a bad fight, playing with randoms. It usually happens that they tunnel vision and fight the bad fight while in worst position imaginable, taking a random long range fight and giving out positions. Okay, so let's start first. Well, landing hot, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, you kind of take the random fight, so it's not recommended. So what I would recommend to you, if you don't want to land like super hot, basically, for example, instead of landing straight into Skulltown, the 2 cities that are like between Thunderdome and Skulltown, if you just land at those, you loot up quick and then push Skulltown, you already have a much better positioning because you know where the people are, because they're probably going to be shooting. You can just take the roof of the high ground, or anything like that, and also you're gonna avoid the the randomness of whatever loot you get. And then the next thing, not rotating when in a bad fight. Obviously, you kind of gotta judge this, situation to situation. If you see yourself in a bad spot, you should just run.
Change
obviously, or either disengage or change your positioning. Kind of depends on the situation always.
I think we can actually also discuss this during the video review, which will be in the middle of the webinar, because we have several videos sent by you guys, and we will review one of them today. So we will discuss this, because the rotation is actually it's like we have the course, and one of the main parts of the course, actually, the rotations and the strategy of it during the course. So we take a lot of time on this and a lot of efforts of learning how to do that properly. So that's not an easy kind of reply of how to do it properly in just one, but we will try to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check out your current level just pretty fast. So what's your current level in the game? I will this one. Like, how many hours have you been playing? This would be the most, well, actually also the level. But okay, never mind. So guys, how many hours have you been playing in the Apex Legends? Like less than half, 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 500, and 500 plus. So I see that majority of you guys are playing up from 100 to 500 hours, which is pretty a lot. Actually, it's not just because even 500 hours, it's pretty much. So yeah, I see it's equal between B and C. So thank you very much for the feedback. Okay, we do understand right now who is here. Thank you, guys. And let's talk a bit about the 7 key steps which you really need to do to become a pro player, like the main mistakes a lot of people face. And Marcel, I would like to give you the word, because this is actually your part of the presentation.
Yeah. So the first thing that I mentioned before, kind of in regards to keeping track of the free players. So with everything basically that you learn, this is not just in regarding to esports, but this is kind of thing that you can apply to anything in life. If you just focus on one thing at a time and you kind of repeat that all over again, you will eventually do it automatically. So try to not just improve everything at the same time, but rather do one thing at a time, and it'll be much faster in the overall. So basically what I mean by that, if someone of you said, for example, before pushing a team when I shouldn't have, if you try to only pay attention to that for I don't know 3 days worth of games, you will definitely improve that already automatically after that. And then maybe after that you realize maybe I'm not healing enough, so you always pay attention to your health, stuff like that. So definitely always focus on one little thing at a time and kind of dissect your improvements.
Like, just to add a bit, yes, because this is the very common mistakes, guys, a lot of people do. So they know that they have like several things and they would like to okay, from someone who knows. Yeah, I would reply you who's Inferno. Yeah, definitely. We will actually review your video. So focus on one thing at a time. So a lot of people are trying to improve a lot of things like aiming, positioning, like special skills of particular legends, etc. So try to focus on one thing during a time, for during a day, during a few days. So you see the improvements, move on to another one. So do not try to improve everything at once. Otherwise, the effect would be too little or even no at all. So try to do it just one per time. Okay, Marcel? Sorry to interrupt you.
All good. Yeah, the next one is analyze your mistakes. This definitely helps in improving what you actually want to, or finding what you want to improve, basically. The way you do this is, watching your replays. It makes it much easier. Obviously, you can notice some mistakes already in game, but if you actually watch your replays, you're kind of not like thinking about all these things during the game, and it definitely makes it much clearer, to realize what you did wrong, and it gives you a better overall picture of what actually happened, and makes everything much more clear. And this also helps if you have a teammate or a friend and you both are working together to improve. If each of you watches the other person's replay, you will have different point of views and people will notice different things and have different ideas, and this also helps with that. Mm-hmm. And then the next one, like I mentioned before, you don't want to rage, and this is kind of the same as frustrating. Obviously, you don't really want to focus on the bad thing. Basically, the best advice I can give you is that it's still practice. Like if you're playing normal games, if you're playing ranked, even if you're playing scrims, this is all practice. You're not really you're not playing for money, you're not playing for fame or anything. It's not really the end of the world if you lose a game or if you make a mistake. Just admit the mistake and go for the next game. It's going to help you much more in the future,
especially in the long run. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The next one is kind of goes in with working on one thing at a time. So basically you want to set realistic goals. You don't want to go from 2 KD to 10 KD all of a sudden. That's obviously not realistic, and definitely not really achievable. And so obviously therefore you want to set smart goals, like this says. They definitely want to be achievable in a timely manner, and the way you want to be achieving them, like I said before, you want to be focusing on small steps at a time. The next one, I already mentioned this a little bit with the replays, but it's, basically finding friends or finding a team to play with. This helps a lot in different aspects. Team communication, having the same goals, having fun with it, and all that stuff. It definitely makes a huge difference. And this doesn't even have to be like people you always play with, but if you just try to find maybe people on a Discord that you hop into voice with that will say where the enemies are, instead of just queuing up solo and then getting two randoms who are completely not your skill level, and it's gonna make things just way more easier. The next one is pretty obvious, but a lot of people tend to forget about this one. It's take breaks. And by this I don't mean just after 2 hours you want to take a 30-minute break or whatever. You don't have to do that, but maybe just 5 minutes between games, you walk around a little bit. You should make sure you drink a lot of water. And then the bigger thing is, it's not bad to take days off. I'm pretty sure Gary asked me the other day, like, because I was streaming Minecraft. I don't only play
Actually,
Apex Legends.
I also saw that stream and was, what? Come on, is it Marcel like doing the stream of the and it was hardcore? I mean, it wasn't just for fun, like walking around. But
it is still for fun.
It was crazy. I mean, yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't play. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I don't play Apex 14 hours a day and then sleep and then eat. But I still do other stuff. So
yes, definitely. It just helps you to be even more effective in the one game. So if you kind of relax a bit your mind, because if you're too focused on one game, it's really tiring. It's really kind of job. So definitely just play sometimes on something else, just to be to relax a bit. Bullshit.
Hey, how to find teammates who also want to improve in the game and play as the team. Many just quit playing or doing all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, so on our Discord and in the course, we definitely encourage people to play together with. Usually there's some people, looking for that. Apart from that, obviously, if you play and you have your teammate maybe communicating, maybe just add him and ask if you want to play some more games. That can definitely help, because a lot of those people, they are basically in the same boat. Otherwise they wouldn't be solo queuing into the same game as you. So basically you just gotta not be shy pretty much with it, and try to ask people. And then the last thing, it's kind of like I said, you don't really have to do this all the time. If you're noticing you're not enjoying yourself as much, take a break. And basically, it's have fun. It's still games. It's still basically what you want to do.
Sometimes it's pretty hard for a lot of people, to have fun, especially if they've been killed by someone. Like, oh, come on, what the hell?
Yeah,
it's definitely, especially if you would like to focus on being in esports for a long time. It's definitely should give you a lot of energy, a lot of fun. Like to hello, Luke. Underwood. Thank you for your feedback. So. Most of all, have fun. So fun is really important, especially if you build in the career. And moreover, if you're interested in becoming a streamer and would like to stream, if you would be like only screaming on what the fuck are you doing? It would be pretty hard for a lot of people to watch. But I know a lot of streamers actually do it as well. So be yourself. So what I would like to suggest is be yourself and have fun. Have fun. Having fun, it's always nice. Okay, let's move on. We already actually checked this.
Yeah.
Like, what is the main objective? Okay, yes, let's proceed further. So if you're really interested in joining the esports, or you would like to build a career there is actually several steps and possibilities how to improve your skills and just grow up as the pro player or a player. So first of all, there is a possibility of doing the self-education, like playing a lot, looking on the experience of other players, watching like videos in the YouTube, etc. And the second approach is actually education, like where you're just doing like being more focused and achieve much faster the aims. Definitely the second part, because self-education is good, but it's pretty long run. In this self-education, actually, to achieve the pro level, you would have to spend around 3 to 5 years of your personal time, well, around 5,000 hours, but also depend on how fast you learn. But the good thing about it, you will not spend any amount of money. But you will be progressing pretty slowly, so a bit wasting your time. If we talk about the education, it allows you to move much faster, like X3, X5 at least, or even X10, depending on how fast you will be learning and how fast you will be progressing. So, but what are the main educational challenges? So, first of all, how to achieve the better results. So, second, what steps to take, how to keep the high motivation, what skills to focus on, and how to keep fast pace. So, this is the really things we would like to talk about it. So, what I would like to ask you one more thing: have you ever bought any like pre-recorded lessons, personal coaching, or both? Have you previously done it at all in general? Just have you got the experience of buying like coaching, personal coaching, or just buying the videos from some schools or whatever? Just really interesting, curious. Okay, some of you haven't been buying anything, so watching like videos, streams, and just doing by your own. Okay. So as you will be replying, we will move on to actually discussing the possible approaches right now exist on the market. So first approach is the pre-recorded lessons. First of all, there is definitely in each approach there is a pluses and minuses, less pros and cons. So pros with the pre-recorded lessons, it could be cheap or even free of charge. We talk about the YouTube videos which you can just watch. The only one bad thing about the watching YouTube, it's pretty hard to find something really valuable. Usually it's all tons of information, and just to find something valuable you should spend a lot of hours. So this is the main minus of the free videos. But if we talk about the videos which are sold, just okay, haven't had a couch, but okay. So about the pre-recorded lessons, it's pretty cheap usually. It's very well structured. It's very fast to finish, and actually you can choose your pace because you can watch it whatever you would like to, and you just move on as fast as you would prefer. But there is some cons in this approach. So first of all, there is no tracking of your progress. So no one will guide you. So actually, if you're doing any mistakes when you watch the video and you're trying to practice that, you have no idea if you're doing it right or not. So no one can actually help you in that during this kind of approach. There is no practice at all. So only yourself can be practicing. And once again, you will not get any feedback on that as well. There is a full screen in a way. Oh, the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I'll reply it later. And there is no feedback. So this is the minuses of this approach. In the second approach, if we talk about the personal coaching, first, really big advantage that it's individual approach. So the coach is working you 1v1, talking about your weak points and focuses on the practice. So you learn it much faster, like X2, X3 at least, in comparison to the previous one. But this approach also have some minuses. So first of all, it's really expensive, from $20 to $100 per hour, depending on the level of the coach and depending on how fast you're learning. It will take you a lot of money. So it's also usually not really well structured. And another point, it's no group dynamics in that. What I mean in the group dynamics, I mean, if you're learning in the school, in the university, you're learning in the teams. Yeah, a lot of students working together, asking questions, see mistakes of each other. So they're learning much faster in this way. When you see somebody's doing mistake and he got the feedback from the trainer, and you just learn together much faster, because we tend to see the mistakes of other much faster and much easier than seeing ourselves. And so we're learning much faster. And additionally, when you're in a group, you're performing much better, because if you're alone or just doing so I would like just to compare two things: going to the gym or doing the same thing at your home. where you would be more effective? I could bet that you will be much more effective in the gym, because the trainers are watching. A lot of people with you, especially if you're not alone there, which is usually so, you have to perform much better. So this is what we call in group dynamics, and we think it's really crucial to become a better player and to progress together further. Also, there is a very few amount of the theory in the personal coaching, and you are a coach bounded. And another very big disadvantage of this, usually you do not get the whole idea how to learn by yourself. So you know how to do it together with a coach, but you have no idea how to do it on your own. So okay, he can give you some like home tasks or whatever, but you couldn't see the whole structure of the steps you should take every moment of time to progress further. So this is additional disadvantage of this approach. And actually, we watched all this kind of approach. We tried hard to learn by ourselves. So we spent a lot of hours like watching videos of several games, and just it was terrible experience. And actually, it was moving forward and actually backwards sometimes. So that's how we came to learn all this stuff, and this is how we came to the idea of creating the course. And actually the first course in the Apex Legends with the Marcel, it's actually combining all these main ideas of the personal coaching, of the pre-recorded lessons, and actually the idea of university's approach, etc. So we created the course with the individual and group dynamics approach. It's balanced theory and practice, like 20 to 80. There is a live webinars with the expert at every week, and he's giving a lot of feedback to the students, depending on what was done wrong, etc. Oh, Marcel, your keyboard is so loud.
Oh, sorry.
Or maybe mine headsets are so. Yeah, no problem. I do the same. So actually, and we are sure that moving together allows you to do much faster and much more results. So you have more possibilities to find the friends and teammates to play with. This is one additional very big benefit of being in the course, because you're together with a lot of students and you can just play together, practice together, learn together, help each other to move forward a bit more faster. And you will know how to learn by yourself after the course. This is a very crucial. So our main idea is to give you the all tools you need to learn during the course to progress further after it. So this is actually was the main idea behind it. So provide you the social network of the people who are also focusing on moving forward as much fast as possible, to give you the whole training idea of how to progress further after the course. So you will do not need anything additional to move forward. And that's how actually combined together we created this course. So a bit more details about it. So just a comparison, if you will be doing like self development, it takes you around 5,000 hours and regularly $0. With the coach, it will take you about 1,000 hours. Definitely it depends on person to person, and it will take you around $2,500 at least. And if we talk about our approach, it will be also about 1.5 hours, 1,000 hours, but on yourself when you just bought the course and learn it, and it will be much cheaper, as you see. So just a bit more details about the course. So it will be right now 3 weeks, because we tried 2 weeks, we tried 4 weeks, and right now I think we just find the best approach. It would be the 3 weeks. It's 14 video lessons by Marcel on all major aspects of the game, from the very beginning to the very advanced, like doing the same things. I have the feedback that there is some problems with the translation and the video. Guys, do you see me and hear me well? I mean, there is no lags in video, there is no lags in audio. Can you please give me some feedback? Is everything is okay?
Everything's fine for me.
Yeah, the same for me, but what about you guys? Is everything okay? Can you please write down one if everything is pretty well and there is no problems with the connection? I mean, you can see it. I see there is the poll, which is actually on the screen. Damn. I'm sorry, guys. I will just close it because on the stream you cannot close it. I will do it by myself. Sorry for that. I see that the polls. Oh damn. So I hope now it's okay in the stream. Yeah, that's my mistake, guys. Sorry for those of you who are watching us on the stream. I see that it's actually showing not correct screen. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, I just realized that it's showing like full screen of poll, which is terrible. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Who's Inferno, thank you very much for feedback. I just didn't realize what he was talking about. Okay. So you hear me well. There is no polls on the screen. Actually, it's okay. Yeah, no, I mean it's in the stream. It was in the Twitch. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys, for that. It's a bit not really good. Okay, so about the course, it's 3 weeks of the course. Yeah, thank you. Who's Inferno with 1 right now is okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for your feedback, and sorry for being a bit stupid. Didn't understand you. So it's 14 lessons on all major aspects, from the very basics to the very advanced, like how to do the rotations, which legend to choose, what's the best locations on the map to start from, and how to rotate further. What's the strategy in the mid game, end game? What are the strategy and actual approach to work in the team play? And actually, we divide the course into 2 parts. First is the solo skills, and second is the team skills. And actually, the second part is one of the most crucial. And like 99% of all players around the globe have no idea, and just have no idea how to play in the teams. And this is the really important thing if you would like to proceed in the highest ranks like diamonds and predators. Being alone there is, well, you can do that, but you will never, ever win any tournament alone. So that's why the team skills are really crucial to go in. And actually, if you plan to be in the esports, and if you go to progress in this field, it's definitely one of the most crucial skills you will need to learn. And we will definitely help in that. We provided daily practical tasks for personal training. And more importantly, we do provide a lot of feedback on each home tasks done. So our main focus on this. So you learn lesson, you do the home task, and we check, did you understand it correctly? Do you do it as it should be done? And do you progress further? So we provide the feedback every day. We do leave sessions with the expert, with the Marcel, and sometimes just with me or with our previous students who are right now in our academy. So we also discuss how you play. We get your videos, we review them together. We talk about it, like what was done wrong, what should you focus on, what you should do in the next like several days to practice more on that, etc. We provide like weekly tournaments and tests of the personal skills, and actually weekly tournaments we do also free on our Discord channel. So welcome. Each Friday we do this $30 prize pool. And we will be glad to see you there anytime. And also for the students, we created a hidden section on the Discord channel where we do discuss all the questions, all the home tasks, all the and they send the screenshots of the trains of during the day, like what was done, what was done wrong. So they also analyze their games during the day, and we check how it's done. So just a very quickly, I'll show you the structure of the week. So first week is, as I told you, it's mainly aimed on the personal skills. So like gaming settings, Discord just for PC. No, actually, Kelly, it's for all platforms. You can just download it on your mobile phone. Yeah, I'm sure you have one. So you can definitely just talk with the team in the Discord. Play together, like use it as TeamSpeak. So yes, it's for all platform. And actually, among our students, we have guys who are playing like PS4. Not that many Xbox. It's only PS4 right now, but it doesn't really matter. So you can, and actually the course, it's not only for the PC. It covers all platforms. There is only one difference here. It's actually the AIM trainings. because in the PC there is much more possibilities to do the aim trainings, because there is a very advanced programs to do that, and we just help to do that. But we also provide some ideas of how to do aiming trainings using the consoles as well. So this is the first week. This is the second and third week. As actually, as you see, it's more advanced. It's about the team play, about the more rotation mindsets, etc. And we decided to put one more myth and stereotypes just here, because you could be a bit bored, you could be a bit tired. We just would like to recover you a bit with this video. A lot of people are thinking that you actually need to be a really strong sportsman, have a big head and also big hand to play with a mouse or with the console, and you should have some unique skills to be the pro player. Well, this is not really easy. It's actually what I would like to show you, just one video of the one guy, and I will just show you, and we'll discuss it afterwards.
I'm playing Street Fighter V with a headset on to hear every sound in good stereo quality. Besides that, I'm using a controller and a console. I am not using a screen. My name is Sven, also known as Blind Warrior Sven. I would like to be a professional Street Fighter player. When I was 6, I got blind, and my biggest fear in the beginning was that I was unable to play computer games anymore. But after a while I discovered that I was able to play Street Fighter 2. I was able to hear what was going on in the game and could react on that. So each kick, each punch, each move from each character has a different sound. After you learn each sound effect, you have to know how to react on it, and from that moment on, my new game experience started. This year I started with my professional career in the esports, and I visited my first tournament in Madrid. I won a match on stage, and that was so amazing. I mean, I almost had tears in my eyes because it was so wonderful to show everybody that even with a disability, you can participate in the real world if you want.
Final round, fight!
So I really hope in the future to have contact with game developers to see if we can make more video games accessible to blind people. And the other way around, I would like to make blind people try and play video games like I did. So I really hope that what I'm doing can inspire other people to do the same, or to go for what they want in their life, even if it's impossible as they think. There's always a way to do something if you want it.
I just love this video, guys, really. Well, I mean, if the person with such disabilities as the blind can become a pro player, well, if there is anybody who tells me that it's not possible, come on. I mean, the old boundaries are in our heads. Is if we think that it's not impossible, it's just in here. It's not because you can't do this. It's just you're afraid of doing mistakes, and just do not be afraid of doing mistakes. Definitely. And let's move on. So we will right now make the review of the gameplay. Actually, this is yours, Inferner. We will write and review it. Marcel will do this. But before we will begin, I would like to give you some feedback. We're doing this really frequently with our students because we think this is one of the very crucial skills to have the ability to do the reviews of your games, as well as the reviews of your teammates. And actually we do it like students is doing for each other review, because it also helps them to learn the mistakes of through the games of their friends. It's really important, and it gives you a lot of ideas of how to improve fast. So Marcel, please, this is your your turn.
All right. Yeah. So obviously, we have the whole, game recorded. So the way I usually do it is, skip to the most important parts. So obviously the first, important part is like the landing and like, everything that goes on with it. So let's take a look.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
So one thing you can already tell, playing with random people, people will just do whatever they want, kinda, and obviously not really have a proper plan. So obviously going for bunker here, a big thing you can already. How does one send in? Oh, it's on Discord. Big thing. A big thing you want to be paying attention here already is that you didn't scout, and also you split away from your teammates. So, two things you can definitely improve here. Obviously, you were flying yourself, so you couldn't scout as well. However, obviously, this is very important. Scouting if people are contesting, and not just if they're actually contesting, but the next thing you want to be taking a look at is, how many people are around you in cities next to you, for example, the city in the west and the airbase. Because if you keep a mental, map in your head about this, you will know about when people will rotate into you and how much freedom you have and where you can rotate afterwards to get more loot. For example, if containment was maybe not looted at all, you can maybe rotate there and get some more loot. And then also a little thing I want to mention is I think your field of view is very low. It seems pretty low. I'm not sure how well the PlayStation can handle it in terms of FPS, but that's one thing I definitely notice here. And field of view definitely improves it a little bit. So let's take a look at the fight. Obviously the first kill is pretty free. You're also getting really lucky in terms of, getting purple armor.
Mm-hmm.
So this first kill obviously was very free. The second one, well, obviously you didn't get the kill, but people are just running away because there's a lot of people and everyone was contesting. Now, obviously here, you want to be playing it a little bit slower. So if you pay attention to what was happening, so there was 2 guys running straight for you, and one more was running back up. So basically 3 people ran towards you and they all had nothing because they instantly turned around when you shot at them. So basically you will know that, well, either they got super unlucky and didn't get a gun, like any of them, which is very unlikely in these 2 big rooms. And the more likely thing is that there's another team up here, which is indeed the case because there's, people fighting here. So you want to be playing it a little bit slower. So if you grapple up, it's fine, but then you maybe want to stay at the stairs and then, just peek a little bit out so you can fall back much easier. And obviously you don't want to be running into the gas, which you almost did here. So yeah, what you're doing right here, this is what you should have been doing, in the first place and played a little bit safer. Because like you can see, there's, another team. Okay, but yeah, overall, pretty easy fight because you got really lucky with loot and people didn't really get anything, so, that's fairly easy. Alright, in terms of inventory management, there's like a little checklist that I usually do. It's like each weapon, you want to have a certain amount of ammo. You want to have, maximum 1 stack of syringes, maximum 1 stack of medkits, and then, maybe 6 or 12 shield cells, depending on what type of backpack you have. So right now, you obviously don't have a backpack at all. So make sure you drop the energy ammo here. This is all things you always want to be, looking at between fights, because obviously you don't have the time during the fight. So what you're doing here is, obviously correct. And then, but this is a thing a lot of people don't, think about, and they tend to forget. So it's really good that you're doing this. And then the other thing to keep in mind in that regard, the other little thing that I do in like my checklist is if you use the healing the healing wheel, you want to always pre-select your shields. You have purple armor, so you probably want to pre-select your shield battery here, because if you do end up using it, if you do end up getting poked, you will probably use your shield battery. And if you don't need to use it fast, or if you don't need to heal fast, you can just use shield cells anyway, and the timing between switching to shield cells isn't really that important. And then the second thing, you have your frag grenade selected right now, which is definitely significantly worse than the arc star that you, I think, also had. So make sure you pre-select the arc star here, because it uses much more, or it has much more uses. So if you do end up in a situation where you need to use it, it's definitely better to have it. And then kind of similar to the last time already, you're going in like very, very quickly. You're not playing, slowly and taking it a little bit more methodical. You're kind of just walking in. Better players would definitely be punishing you for this, where you're just walking in the open. So definitely try to pay attention to that. And play a bit further back and then poke first. Alright. So overall, these skills are pretty easy here. People just walking into you in a straight line. Okay, even more though. Let's take a look at this. So it's another caustic, so obviously you want to be keeping a distance. If I was you here, I would probably, try to play here for a bit, wait for your teammate to maybe run out. And if they don't actually peek into you, probably just disengage this, because you're in bunker and this is a caustic. So, usually you should be losing this fight. But yeah, your opponents, again, they're just kind of sitting in the open. So you're kind of just shooting down this hallway the whole game, and it's pretty easy kills. But once again, just kind of grappling into the fight, not knowing what there is, especially with a caustic. So really, this is so far the main thing you want to be keeping an eye out for. And then yeah, at this point, you're spending a lot of time kind of waiting for them to just walk into you. Which, I mean, it can go, it can work out for you, because these guys, obviously, they're not really, paying attention too much about what they're doing. They're kind of just walking in a hallway. But the better players you go against up, this will be definitely where people will punish you. So you should be trying to loot ASAP here, and you should already be gone by this point, because the enemies could have just pushed you. They weren't aware that you're alone, just because they're not really paying attention to it. But pretty easily, they could have figured out that you're alone here, and they could be punishing you for this. But yeah, they kind of just walk back in and die. Yeah? So I don't know. It's obviously they're just not the best. So, but yeah, this is also not, still like a mistake on your part, and this is a reason, you don't, or this is a thing in BRs that happens a lot, where people think, if they win a fight, that they didn't make a mistake, or the other way around, if they lost a fight, that they didn't do something, correct. But in this case, you won the fight, you got the 3 kills, but I wouldn't say that you played this, correctly. It's just that the enemies were doing even bigger mistakes than you were, so it didn't really matter. And then in terms of, inventory management, let's just think about what weapons you had. So you have a Spitfire and a Scout. Now, look at how much ammo you have. You have, what's 240, 320, 360 light ammo. So there's no way you're ever going to use this between a different
half
fight.
of it, actually.
Yeah, you can at least drop, 2 stacks here, especially because your last stack is only a 40, so it's not really worth it. But yeah, at least drop 2 stacks here, maybe even 3, depending on how you play. If you play more aggressive, you need less ammo, kind of, because usually you would, get into a fight and then you can resupply it faster and stuff like that. And, actually, why did
It was in the middle.
yeah. But you actually have a Spitfire which uses ammo much faster than the Scout, so you should have had, hopefully more heavy ammo than light ammo. But yeah, let's skip ahead to the next fight, which is already here. So obviously you catch him off guard because he's looting and he doesn't realize you're in here. And then again, you kinda, I don't know if you intended to grapple him down. If you did, I mean, pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, again, it's you kind of got lucky that this guy had white armor. If he had purple armor, you might have died here because he's shooting back, and then his teammate might help him, and then you get shot by 2 people. You wasted your cooldown.
If he had a shotgun,
yeah, that as well. It's, I mean, a lot of factors here that can really cost you your life here, and this is kind of the same you did earlier. You just grappling into the action all the time, and you got to keep in mind, this is also one of the main reasons Pathfinder is so good, is that he's like the only guy who has like a gap closing ability, which is the ability crosses you from point A to point B very quickly, and this is sure, you can use this aggressively sometimes, but you got to keep in mind, if you use this aggressively, you have, I think, 10 or 12 seconds cooldown on it, and that means you have no escape for those 10 seconds. And in those 10 seconds, you basically just like a lifeline or Watson, where you don't have any mobility. So keep that in mind. It's you have to be very precise in when you use it aggressively. All right, it's good that you realized that your teammate just finished him, but then after that, again, this is actually a situation where I would recommend you to use your grapple instead, because if you climb up like this, you're gonna be stuck in the climbing animation here. So if he wasn't looking towards the Thermite, you kind of baited him with that. But if he wasn't looking there and he paid attention, he could have done like, I don't know, all your shield damage at this point already before you even get to shoot. And then if you look at your HP, he did like 2 bars of damage. So maybe you were, if he was paying attention, you were almost close to death. And then, if you keep in mind that if this was a better player, you probably would have gotten knocked there. So this is kind of the things you want to be, paying attention to.
And actually, you're not taking Arc Stars at all, but you're taking Termites. So I would recommend to take Arc Stars.
Yeah, so
definitely instead of the Termites.
Yeah, so what I mentioned before, obviously you have way too much ammo here, so you should have both the Arc Star and the
Thermite.
The Thermite. Actually, let me pause it here if I can. It's gone so quickly.
Back. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, so right here, like I mentioned before, you don't want to have 2 sacks of syringes, so definitely drop those 2 syringes there. Apart from that, if possible, you would obviously, get more heavy ammo, but you can't. I would actually probably drop those 4 shield cells if you had even more grenades to loot, which you do, but I think your teammate loots them, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, grenades are really, really good. Like Arc Stars are really good, and then the frag grenades are decent. I used to actually say that they're better than Thermites. However, the better people you play against, the better the Thermites get over frag grenades. Just because they kind of work like Arc Stars, where they actually function on the spot that you throw them at, whereas frag grenades can bounce and roll down, which, it can help, but it's not, necessarily the best and the most consistent. But yeah, definitely you want to have Arc Stars as much as you can, because they're used in any situation, really, aggressively, defensively, stuff like that. And then, yeah, let's skip ahead again for the next fight. So right here, you noticed them crossing, and then I saw you were throwing a grenade, so... All right, so right here, definitely the better option would be to just shoot them. You're going to get much more damage off, because Thermites, I mean, sure, it's going to block his way off, maybe, but especially in the angle that you're at, you're only going to cover like the left or the right side of their path, so they can probably, what's it called, avoid it. And it's very unlikely that the Thermite is actually going to do anything. Whereas if you just shoot them while they're out in the open, you're kind of guaranteed to do some damage. So see, the Thermite just missed and it doesn't really do anything. He just walks right past it. Now, obviously, he's not a good player, so he just keeps running in the open and you still get to shoot him. You know, and a better player wouldn't have really done this. So this is kind of what you want to be paying attention to. I like the Foxes, but in this game I was trying to push more so that that anything in the heavy ammo I couldn't find enough of it. Unfortunately, I've learned from this, and I always prioritize Arc Sauce over Frags. Yeah, exactly. So like I said before, you had 8 syringes, so definitely drop those 2 syringes and take the AXA. But yeah, like the AXA, especially for playing aggressive, it's really good because this is like the main use of grenades where you want to be using them, 1 to force them out of cover, and 2 to make them, you know, stop healing. So if you poke them, you break their armor and they're behind a wall, you throw an Arcstar to stop them from healing, and then you run in at the same time. Obviously you don't want to get hit by your own Arcstar, but yeah. Alright, this one, I mean, you kind of damage both of them, but again, this is like a very obvious trend in your game's play. You're really playing super, super aggressive, and it's working out because the enemies aren't paying attention at all. But if you want to be, you know, if you start playing ranked and you do these types of plays, the higher you go, you will get punished for it, you know, way more often, and this is not gonna really work out. Because see, he was spending so much time like running away. He could have already healed by this time and, you know, definitely punished you for this again, like grappling in. Because right now you're stuck on the low ground. You still have 6 seconds cooldown on your grapple. And, you know, in ranked, maybe there would be more teams, like 12 teams alive now. And then maybe there was a team on the, you know, in the west side, in the compound that would third party you. And you're stuck on the low ground with no grapple. And maybe they shoot you with a longbow and you die. You know, it's a lot of maybes, but this is, you know, kind of what you want to keep in mind when you use a grapple. You know, that you can't just go aggressive with it all the time. But yeah, like you said, you wanted to push more in this game, which is fine. You know, pushing is fine, but the way you execute the push, you got to be more careful here. You know, when you play ranked. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely working out in this game because, yeah, the skill level of your enemies is very, very low. Oh, so let's look at some inventory management again real quick. All right. So yeah, I mean, I could just only keep repeating it, but the 2 syringes, you want to drop them. And I think you still have this. Oh no, you had the carbine now, so the light ammo is fine. In this case, like I mentioned before, the Spitfire, it's actually not recommended. You definitely want to have, you know, more light ammo than heavy ammo here. So in this case, I would probably drop the 80 heavy ammo here and look for some more grenades. So if this guy has some grenades, probably drop the 80 heavy ammo because you should usually be using the R31 over the Spitfire because it has a better damage output than the Spitfire. So definitely, you know, you will be using the light ammo much more. So kind of the opposite of what you're doing right now. Yeah, your opponents are just kind of standing still all the time. Okay, that was...
It was tough.
Very scary, yeah.
Now you should heal.
Yeah. And see, this is kind of what I meant, right? With the shield battery pre-selecting. Because your shield is broken, and now you had to switch to your shield batteries first and then use it. You know, you could have done it much faster and then maybe pair it with a slide, because that means you're starting healing while you're still moving quickly. So yeah. You get very lucky in a minute. Yeah, I mean, this is probably what you saw. But yeah, this overall, like how much this guy was peaking, if you were using your carbine, he would have probably died already because it has a higher damage output than the Spitfire.
Yeah, definitely, it's too low.
And that's also why the R99 is probably one of the best weapons in the game, because it shoots so fast that it has such high DPS. But also, it kind of means that you need a big magazine, or at least a gray magazine. Without magazine, it definitely, is not the best, but it's still one of the best guns, and it's always worth carrying. And that's just because you can peek out, do a lot of damage quickly, and then hide. Whereas, obviously the Spitfire is the total opposite. You have to stay in the fight for a long time to get the value. But if someone uses a R99 against you with a Spitfire, well, you're dead before you get the value out of the Spitfire. So at that point, it means the Spitfire is just not that good.
Here, I would like to mention that he used first. So he healed up second. This is very smart. So as
oh yeah, you mean the shields first, then the medkit. Obviously, the medkit takes longer than the shields. Yeah.
So this was smart. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people actually do it wrong, and they use the medkit first. Obviously, if the zone was moving or close to moving, you want to heal your HP first, because you might get hit by the zone if people are shooting you in the front or something like that. But yeah, in this situation, it was definitely correct. All right. Yeah, I think, okay, just to like cover it a little bit, someone else before mentioned that they like the Spitfire. I think a big reason why a lot of people like the Spitfire is because it's really easy to aim. It doesn't have a lot of recoil. It can shoot in hip fire really easily and still hit a lot of shots. And also missing your shots isn't punished as much, because obviously you have, like I mentioned, a big magazine. So if you miss 2 or 3 bullets, it's not a big deal. Whereas with other weapons, if you miss a couple of bullets, it's a bigger deal. But yeah, like obviously you want to be playing to the optimum. So the better you go, you're already used to the weapons, and you're practicing with the weapons that you should be practicing, kind of. So this is probably a big reason. All right. Clean kill. People, again, just kind of running into you. And then this last one, I think you got pretty low. Yeah, so this is exactly what I meant, right? So if you look at your HP, it's going down really, really quickly. I think towards the end of his clip, towards the end of his magazine, he started missing some shots, and that's why you didn't die. But if he was playing a bit better, where he used the cover and he wasn't just committed to one clipping you, he probably would have been due to this HP and then go hide, and then he heals real quick, and yeah, he would probably win this fight. So this is because he was using the better weapon, to be honest. What would you recommend for a good loadout? Yeah, like I mentioned before, the R99 is a good weapon. Shotgun, especially the Peacekeeper, is good. But obviously, you don't have range with that. So usually what's pretty good is, R99 longbow, R99 shotgun, the R301 is good, the wingman is good, the energy weapons are decent, especially with a turbocharger, they're really good. Yeah, all those weapons, really. It depends on your playstyle, whether you play, more close range R99 Peacekeeper, or you play a sniper with it, or carbine with it, stuff like that. All right, I think you had a medkit, right? Because you're using syringes here. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, you didn't. Okay, so that's fine using syringes. All right, and then in this situation, it's kind of the opposite what the enemy did earlier. You walked in the open and you kind of like taking the duel instead of once the guy ran into you and you got kind of surprised, just run back into cover before you start, taking the duel. Maybe use a grenade to buy some time. You didn't have grenades here, so obviously you can't do that. And yeah, it kind of, ended up costing you. And also the other thing that cost you is that you were using the Spitfire, and the guy just didn't die because it doesn't have the crazy DPS. And whereas if you used maybe an R99, you were, hitting that many headshots with an R99, he would have definitely died. And then at that point, once you get the first knock, you can run back, you can reload, you can maybe heal, especially if you have a grenade, you can throw the grenade in front of the rock to buy yourself more time and then heal, stuff like that. That's why, like I said, the R99 is really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Running longbow and R99 or 301 seems like a solid choice. Yeah, R99 longbow is probably my favorite loadout. I definitely think the R99 is almost always the better choice over the 301, especially if you pair it with a sniper, because if you run the 301 and the longbow, that means if you run into someone who's using an R99 in close range, they will have the upper hand, because the R99 is just much better in terms of damage. The only weakness is that it doesn't have range. But in this game, you don't want to have these weapons that are like all around weapons. It's kind of the Spitfire, because like if, let's say, for example, you have a loadout like the R301 and the Scout. Those are two weapons that are like all around weapons, because the Scout, it has fast shoots, it shoots fast, it's decent in mid range, decent in close range, decent in long range. But let's say you snipe against a guy with a longbow, you're always going to lose that fight against the longbow, because the longbow is just a better sniper than the Scout. And in close range, you have a 301, you're always going to lose a fight against an R99 or a Peacekeeper, because those weapons are just better in close range. So those weapons are decent and usable, but you have to like adjust your playstyle to it, if that makes sense. And this is kind of, this goes into like team play theory, where maybe you have two players with an R99 and then one guy with the sniper, stuff like that. But that's like advanced stuff. I was struggling with my nerf this ending. I was hoping to hit my first 21. Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, like I said, the main thing you want to be paying attention to is playing a bit too aggressive. Like, I understand you want to be pushing people, which is completely fine, like taking fights a lot, but play them a little bit safer in terms of your positioning. So like play cover more and, use your grapple less and try to use some different weapons. What about triple take? You don't happen to run in a longbow. The triple take is good with a choke, but again, you can't really take duels against the longbow. The longbow is by far the best sniper right now. The triple take is good in terms of, if you have a choke, you can do a lot of damage really quickly, and it's also easier to aim, because obviously you have 3 bullets and one of them is probably going to hit. But yeah, the triple take, like the longbow, then the triple take, and then the Scout, and that in that order is like how good the weapons are. All right. So a lot of decent things we saw.
Yeah, true. So let's move on to the slides. Just feedback from the Twitch. Thank you, Marcel.
Yep.
So, just a bit more about the learning process. As we discussed, we actually created this course to help everybody to achieve the highest possible level during the 3 weeks right now, because initially we launched, it was 2 weeks, but it was too intense, and our students told us, guys, give a bit more possibilities to train, just to train during the course. So right now it's 3 weeks. It's the access to the lessons, it's the feedback and home tasks every day, special Discord channel where we do help the team and the students to move on even faster. And if they have any questions during the course, we also do provide them feedback. Also regular checkups like the tests, the medium and the end tests. And the most important thing, which you will get after the course, that you will know exactly what to do daily, like a daily routine. for the process, for the constant skill growth, reflection and analysis of your personal gameplay, and you can do it to progress even further. So you will work on your weaknesses and strength, and definitely team play, communication, and role assignments, because it's another thing which we will talk about in the course a lot. So in the end, you will have much more entertaining gameplay. Will be interesting to watch in Donate. Actually, for the streaming, it's really important. Final guidance, solid idea, prioritizing. Yes, true. Detailed plan of your personal skills development and additional motivation for the self-improvement. So for today, we actually launch the early bird possibility to enter the course. It will start from 18th of August. We will start our next course because right now it's still on the move. And like last week of the course for our students. So right now the cheapest possible entrance for the course, and I will just send you also the link to it right now. This is it. Let me send it over, and we will move on. I think it's not working through the restream properly. So just for several days, we will provide this special deal for the course. And also, what's really important, if you were not really happy with it, and you think that this is the purchase link, if I will send it, I would like to show some more info about the course. So actually, this is a really important thing to show that we really sure about what we do. This is the average results of our students. It's actually the top 3 students from the first course. It's plus 56% of the damage per kill per match and 36% damage per match growth. So for the best players, actually it's Gary. It's 72% of the kills per match growth and damage per match. And just let me show you the feedback from the. I hope it's in here. Yeah, this is it. So Gary.
I have very recently made the decision to quit my job, to start streaming and gaming a lot, to make of it my actual profession. The course I did with No Limit and Marcel was the real kickoff for this decision. It really helped me to see that other people are doing it right now and that I can do it too. So I just told myself, let's go. And during the course, Marcel gives a very, very efficient methodology on how to get good. The results are really impressive. Just gonna give you one number. After the 2 weeks of the course, I got 70% more kills per games. 2 weeks, 70% more kills per games. That's huge. And the thing is, you can still keep using the methodology after the course. It never ends. I'm still using the tools and getting better and better every day. The best thing about the course is that it never ends. After the course, you can have access to what I'm showing on the screen right now. It's channels with all the graduates, all the former students that you can still play with, chat with, improve with, review each other's games, and make teams with. It's so important to have people with the similar mindset to play with so that you can keep improving with them. That is why I really hope that a lot of more people will join the course so that we can actually play together. Alright guys, I think that's it for me. So hopefully...
Yeah, thank you for Gary for recording this feedback. And actually, the very good question for BioShot. How many hours do you need to train? And actually, during the course and actually afterwards, we do recommend to spend at least from 2 to 3 hours daily to progress, because less it would be pretty hard actually to achieve something valuable. The more the better, but also you should be having like a balance, yeah, because like a lot of our students had the work in a parallel. So, for example, Gary was working during the course, and after the course, he decided to quit the job and actually focus on the streaming and focus on the pro player career. And right now, we're trying to help him as much as possible. So he's actually become the part of our team and helps our new students, newcomers, with the feedback on the game, with the game reviews, and helping just to progress further. So this is. Sorry,
just
Marcel.
just obviously, the more time you spend, the better. But there's also, things you can save some time. For example, if you put in a time to like upload your replays, and then you can watch them on your way home from work or something like that. Obviously, if you're not driving, but something like that.
Listen to the course actually as well.
I mean, things like that. Obviously, yeah, you can save a lot of time.
But definitely, I think that less than 2 hours is just it will not work.
Yeah,
this is the minimum we should need to spend. Yeah, Gary is really inspiring. That's true. He's actually in our next course right now, and he's progressing with the same speed, guys. Like 2 times in a row, he's moving like 70% growth. It's incredible. So it means that if you're really interested in doing that, in going in this career, and would like to progress, we will help you guys very much from our side. So if you're really eager to do that, we'll give you all the possible all the how to say just everything to do this as fast as possible. That's what I wanted to say. This is actually Gary, and we already talked about him. So you can find him if you do not believe that it's a real person. This is all his credentials. You can ask him and talk to him personally and just ask about the feedbacks of some course. So we also do provide some guarantees, definitely, because we're absolutely sure about what we do. So if you do not like the course, we will give you money back within 3 days. So if first 3 days you're in a course and you don't like it, definitely we will return everything, because our reputation is more important for us than just the money, because we're working in a long-term period. We're interested in growing the community and growing the amount of the pro players in our students, and actually help them to achieve the highest results. And another one thing which I would like to mention here, that the current students who are actually studied in our academy will get the special discount for the next courses, which will be going on pretty soon. So, for example, soon we'll launch the streaming course. So I think we'll start recording within a week. So just within several weeks, you will have an access also for the streaming course. And if you combine these courses together, you just get everything you will need to move to the pro career and streamer career. Because I would recommend, for example, several people asked me in the private, what is it important to combine these both? For example, Marcel is focusing more on pro career and less on the streaming. So somebody is focusing more on the streaming than the pro career. So it depends on you. So which path you will choose and what you will like to do in the future, that's really depend on you. But from my perspective, I think it's just the best case to focus on both parts, especially if you have more time, because streaming will take a lot of time daily. You will need to stream at least like 4 hours daily, 3-4 hours daily. The good thing about it that you can combine actually the training or the academy with the streaming, which will help you to grow further. When is your next webinar? I'd really love to sign up for the course, but right now I don't have the extra money to sign up. We actually have every Tuesdays the webinar with our former student, with the Gary. Every Tuesday we do have the webinars, and actually you can send us video for review. But with the Marcel, it's because the Marcel is a pro player, so he has to train a lot. It's not that often happening. So, but I think on the next week we will have one more webinar, definitely before the beginning of the course. So yeah, that's the possibility. And how soon will the next course start? The next course, as I said, will start at 18th of August. So it's this Sunday, just after 1 week. So we need to prepare for the next course, because we will get some feedback from the current students. We also would move on to the new learning management platform, which allows more possibilities for the new students. So we always evolve in our course. So for the next one, it's becoming more and more better. So we get feedback. We do a lot of homework by ourselves as well, so you will get the best possible course in the next one as well. So Just a few more. Well, let's move on to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please ask them. For example, I had one very good. Do you need to stream to become a pro player? Does it make it easier to become one if you do? So, what do you think, Marcel? By the way, from your perspective, so does it make sense to do both together, or just improve just one skill at a time?
Yeah, I mean, especially getting your name out there for a starter, like it definitely helps if you do stream as well. Obviously, streaming, there's different ways to become a successful streamer, whether it's through skillful gameplay like Shroud, for example, or more personality type like, I don't know, Tim the Tatman, Ninja, those guys. Obviously, definitely different ways. And it helps getting your name out there. So, for example, for myself, when I started playing Apex, and a lot of people that I already know from Fortnite and from Overwatch, they know my name. So it's definitely kind of easier to like get into the pro scene, like if you're already known. So definitely streaming can help with that. But yeah, you gotta, like I said, be kind of unique and get your name out there. But yeah, I mean, like Sergey said before, I don't really focus on streaming, so take my opinion, with a grain of salt.
I mean, there is a lot of possible approaches. So Marcel became a pro player without being a streamer, and this is also the possible way for you. And also, it really depends on the amount of time you have, because Marcel is also studying a lot in the university right now, so he has no 10 hours daily for streaming as well. So he's the pro player, plus he's the studying a lot. So depends on your time. You should choose your pathway, because everybody's unique personality, and you just choose your way and how you would like to progress, and where you would like to come to within like next year. Because I'm absolutely sure that actually 1 year is the time which you will need to become a pro player if you would like to. And we will help in that, and just to achieve it faster, as fast as possible. And also will help to do the streaming career as well. So combine these two together, and you just have the best possibilities. Interesting course and training system. Can I play with the other students? Yes, sure, definitely. You mean within the course, or without entering the course? Yes, it depends. Basically, definitely you will have much more possibilities to play with the students during the course, and if you're a student. But we also, in our Discord channel, you can also play with our students as well. So yeah, definitely. In the course, yeah, for sure, especially on the second and third week, which is the team play, which is currently right now in our course, is just crucial to play with the students. And that's why it's really crucial to play with the same guys with the same mindset, because you know the same theory behind, and you just need to practice what you learned. Because when you're playing with randoms, it's pretty hard to train the team play, definitely, because like 99% of the people has no idea about how to communicate, how to choose the roles. So who is the leader inside the group, who is choosing where to rotate, how you should communicate to each other, so etc. This is really not an easy task. It might seems like obvious, but it's not really so. It really takes a lot of effort to do that by yourself, and we really help in that. And during the course, you will need to train that. And after the course, you continue training this, continuously with because as Gary said, actually, we provide like lifetime possibility to train and to practice with your students, mates, and progress even faster together. Because if you have a good team, it would be much easier to progress faster. And one more thing I would like to mention here, as I've already mentioned about the Gary, he entered our team, and actually we're helping him to move forward. And we will do this with the best students in the future, and we will help them to achieve even high results, and help them to go into the streaming career, and help to establish self-brand, etc. So this is our a mission, is to help you guys to go in this sphere, to achieve the best possible results and going in the esports, because we really love what we do and we really have the passion to help the younger, streamer and younger players to go even higher, to aim higher, you will achieve higher. So that's the actual idea behind this whole course, and we're really eager to do that together with you guys. So we'd be happy to see you on the course. And just to mention that this special deal will be available just during the 24 plus hours. Can you pay with the course with the PayPal? Yes, you can use the PayPal, and actually we do recommend to use it because it's the easiest way to pay. And actually, it also would be easy to return it back to you if you will not be satisfied with the course, which was never happening before. But well, just to remind you that this option actually exists. And okay, guys, if you have any question additionally, because I think we answered like 99% of what was asked before, please feel free to send it via every possible way, because we're streaming in all main platforms. So if you have any questions, guys, let us answer them, because sometimes, well, I do realize that you're really tired because it's already 2 hours spent. We was giving a lot of information, was trying to do our best, but well, if you still have any questions, please let us know. Yeah. And anyways, join our Discord channel. Use the possibility to buy this course on the cheapest possible price, because this price will never be available later on. It's only for the early birds before the beginning of the course. So afterwards, it would be more expensive. So this is the best timing to enter. And we will see each other pretty soon. And actually, if we talk about the, could you guys tell me how good my training schedule is? Oh, that's okay. We will Marcel, can we do that?
What?
To give the feedback to the one of our watcher on the stream, could you guys tell me how good my training schedule is?
Do we have the schedule?
Yeah, we don't have a schedule, man. Send the schedule. Without it, it's pretty hard to say if it's good or not. But, well, at least if you have it, it's already pretty good, because the majority of people do not have it at all. So, I mean, it's already better. Send a screenshot. Just a second. Where you send it? In the Discord channel or here? Where is that? I just do not see the screenshot. Sorry, man. Where is that? Have you sent it? Can you send it somewhere else? Because, well, I guess in Twitch. Well, I do not see it. I think that the problem is that in Twitch, I think it's closed. I mean, the possibility to send the links is closed. Can you send it to me in the? Should I send it Discord? Yes, it would be easier. Let me send you the welcome. Well, the this is it. Yes, better send it in Discord, please, because unfortunately here I cannot see it. Yeah, this is it. So enter the Discord and send it to me. So this is my. Okay, I'm DM'd you. Okay, good. So yeah, White Dragon, I see. Sleep 6 hours, aim training 2 hours, mental reset 15 minutes, CSGO, Titanfall, Deathmatch 2 hours, Apex Legends gameplay 6 hours, 4 hours basketball training, only on weekends, and 4 hours live. Well, if you calculate all of them, I think you're not leaving at all. Just a sec, I will copy the link and put it into the, so Marcel will see it as well. So Marcel, can you open it?
Yeah.
Here, I will just send.
I can see it.
This is it.
Well, the first one I would personally already say 6 hours of sleep is not enough for me, but I mean, to each their own. So I would say spend a little less time on aim training, especially for BR. It's much more important to get practical gameplay practice. An hour is definitely already enough. Judging by afterwards, if you notice you need to improve your aim, maybe you can take away some Apex playtime and play some more aim training, obviously. But I definitely would recommend you don't spend that much time on aim trainers. But yeah, I mean, if you're willing to spend that much time, sure. I mean, nothing to say against it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just
this is the good. The main thing, man, is to do it properly. I mean, do the training, do the feedbacks.
Yeah.
And, well, learn from it, because just to play it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
If you
It's
spend tens of hours, it will not help you to improve your skills without
Exactly.
thinking about the game afterwards, realizing what was done wrong, etc. So, yeah, but the timings looks for me as well pretty well.
Yep.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for being with us today. Do really appreciate your use a combination of Kovacs for training. Yeah, Kovacs is good. Kovacs is good also. Then Aim Labs for feedback. True. So we also recommend for our students these two aim trainers. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, definitely use it, and it's the best combination actually possible. Best combination exists on the market right now. So, guys, one more time, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate that you spent so many time with us, and still we would be really happy to see you on the course. Just it's 2 weeks ahead. You still have time to prepare and to just move on to it and just get the maximum possible results within just 3 weeks, because we can guarantee that if you will do all the home tasks, you will increase your gameplay dramatically. So thank you very much for your time once again. So see you soon, guys.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.